Hello and welcome back to Zendrop TV. My name is Kennedy Meek and I'm here with Zendrop, and we are so pumped for today's video because we are reviewing your online stores live and in stereo. The footage you were about to see originally existed as a Zendrop live. However, we did have some technical difficulties, so we wanted to re-upload this content as we believed it was still incredibly valuable for you guys to see and to learn from. So on today's video, we have COO Brad Loeffler, who you all know and love, as well as one of our newest team members, Florian Hartfelder, who is also a multi-million-dollar, highly successful dropshipper, ready to critique your stores and answer any of your questions. Florian and Brad both individually reviewed a single store, giving their tips in terms of how to increase the conversion rate of these stores. If this is something you are interested in having done for your own store, you can go ahead and drop the URL of your online store in the comments below. And we are going to do a lot more of these live reviews of online stores so that we can help each and every one of you increase your conversion rate of your dropshipping store. So if you're ready to learn some stuff about conversion rate as well as improving your Shopify store, stick around and keep watching. How are you guys?
What up?
How we doing? Happy to be back on Zendrop Live. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute since Brad has been on live. For those of you who don't know, Brad used to run Zendrop Lives until he gracefully gave me that responsibility, but we're glad to have him back. Florian is a new team member here at Zendrop, and he is also an incredibly seasoned and highly successful dropshipper himself. And so they're both going to provide a lot of information and insight to the dropshipping space, as well as increasing the conversion rates of your online store. How much do you think we can increase the conversion rates, you guys?
Ooh, an infinite amount.
Infinite amount?
2 to 8x on the low end.
Okay,
Yeah.
we love to see it. Florian, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit to our audience, since no one has seen you online before?
Sure, yeah. So glad to be here. My name is Florian Hartfelder, originally from St. Louis, Missouri, now based out of Dallas. I started my dropshipping store in late 2018. I'd say in the recent year, I did about 2 million in sales in I'd say about 10 months, 11 months on my last kind of go for it. So I'm not by any means expert or the king of dropshipping, but I definitely know a little bit about being able to get traffic to your site and then being able to actually convert them. So I'm looking forward to helping out some of you guys and see if we can get you guys doing similar volume.
So Florian, in your experience, what are the largest mistakes people make on their online stores that can negatively impact the conversion rate of their stores?
Sure. So the saying that I had with my team while we were pushing products is get out of the customer's way. So the biggest issue that I see with a lot of new dropshipping stores and even some more of the seasoned stores is that they're constantly getting in the customer's way in the sense of annoying pop-ups or too many clicks in order to actually get to the checkout process and making it difficult for the customer to buy the product. So if you think about it, there's a reason that the customer clicked on the ad, and that's because they're interested in the product. So when they actually get to the website, they're interested. They want to buy it, right? You're optimizing for purchases. Well, if they're going to buy or not is pretty much based on kind of two things. One is, does it match their perceived value? So is the price what they would pay for it? If it's too high, they're not going to buy it. If it's at the perceived value or lower, they will buy it. So at that point, if they get on the product page, they like the product, they want to buy it, and they believe it's worth that amount, then all you have to do is get out of the way and just let them give you the money, if that makes sense.
Brad, what are your thoughts on this? What are some mistakes you've seen within Zendrop users in terms of negatively impacting conversion rate?
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with what Florian said. It's really, just saying it in a different way, it's just decreasing friction, right? You want to eliminate all the potential reasons why someone might not buy this product. Then it comes down to, is the consumer at a surplus, which is, again, the same exact thing Florian just said, but in a different way. Are they getting additional value beyond what they perceive this product to be worth, i.e. this product is like what they would pay for it or cheaper, or is the price point too high? That's a huge factor. So often when we were teaching people how to run dropshipping stores a few years ago, we used to tell people when you're testing a product, price it really low. That way you can just flood your pixel with purchases, and you can kind of creep up the price as you optimize the ads to find that sort of sweet spot on the price point. But yeah, just decreasing friction every place possible. And I love Florian's phrasing there, like just get out of your customer's way, let them buy the product. So there's a couple key things that I'm excited to get into with some store URLs that we get here. There's a couple things that are just like e-commerce 101 stuff you have to have. And I'm sure we'll get into that on the first couple stores.
Okay, cool. So right off the bat, I'm just going to go kind of from top to bottom here and go through my thoughts. So I'm a perfectionist, and a lot of things for me, I will notice that aren't going to be a huge thing in terms of conversion rate optimization, but I'll just go top to bottom. So let's talk about some good things. One is I like the logo. Black, the color is associated with a premium feel, and it's clean. It's really professional. This header section is solid. A lot of mistakes that I'll see with dropshipping stores is this header section is giant. It's like 1/3 of the page. And one of the keys and one thing that's really important with conversion rate optimization is having the product price, the variance, and the add to cart button above the fold. What is the fold? The fold is right here at the bottom of the screen. So a lot of times what will happen is dropshippers will have this giant header section, and then the customer would actually have to scroll down on the web page to see the price and to see the add to cart button. So again, right, getting out of the customer's way, technically that's another action, another thing that they have to do to find the price and to actually purchase the product. So that's one key thing, and that they're doing really well here is the call to action here, that add to cart button, and the price is above the fold. So that's fantastic. They're doing a great job here on the header. The one thing that I noticed is contact us. The U is not capitalized. If I were to land on this website, I'm weird, but if I saw that, it would sketch me out. Be like, that don't seem like they have their shit together. The get 10% off code with save 10 with purchase of $20 or more, I think that's also solid. It incentivizes them to buy more. And as you can see here, the price for this is $13.66. So if they buy a second one, they can get an extra 10% off. So again, that's going to bump up their average order value. Now let's talk about some areas of improvement here. Wireless front cross buckle lace lift bra. So I haven't properly split tested this. What I do and what's worked really well for me is a lot of drop shippers will just put a title like this, which is just the generic name of what the product is. Now, that can work, and for bigger brands like Macy's or Amazon or something like that, that kind of thing can work. But what I've found to work better with my stores specifically is naming the product. So for example, like JBL headphones, they have a bunch of different names for the products. For example, I have Jaybirds, but it's the Jaybird Vista headphones. So what I like to do is make a name for the product. So I don't know, something fancy, some sort of woman name for this product, like the Cleopatra wireless front crossbuckle lace lift bra, so that you're adding a branding feel and you're putting more kind of value behind this, so it's not just another one of the wireless front crossbuckle lace lift bras. It's now the Cleopatra, right? And I've found that has helped a little bit with increasing conversions. Another note here is it depends how many variants you have. I think having the drop downs in this for this particular product makes sense because there's a lot of variants here. But this is one thing I want to mention that you have to consider is how many variants are there? Because if there are, I'd say 8 or less variants total, what you would want to do is have this be a swatch style. So instead of having to click the drop down and then make a second click, if the swatches were all here, they could just click it once, versus in order to get the actual item they want, they have to click the drop down and then also click the color or the variant. And then they have to do that again with the size. So for a product like this, you're going to have to do it, because otherwise having all of those swatches would take up a lot of space on the product page. But if you're selling something that's just one variant, like let's say it's a charging, or no, that's a bad example, but let's say it's a toy or something like that, and it's just one variant, you wouldn't want to do a drop down unless it's more than 8 variants total. So I think this is good. I just wanted to bring that up because that's definitely something to consider. Check out securely with. So this is a hotly debated topic within dropshipping. I spent thousands of dollars split testing our landing page, and I actually found that the trust badge hurts the conversion rate. And so I had the data to prove it. I was told, and for a long time believed, that you need to have a trust badge somewhere on the product page, but I actually found on my website, and it was a trust badge pretty similar to this, that it actually hurt the conversion rate. So that's something that you guys should consider as well. Wireless with free shipping, on sale for a limited time. Available at this price for a limited time. More per order. Feedback from our customer due. So I think that the copy here on the landing page is pretty solid. Couple things. It started off really great in my mind, and then kind of went downhill pretty fast. So what I've found works the best is long form selling. However, it's a combination of text like this with photos. So for me, the best selling formula was a sort of headline about the features. So, let's say like no steel ring embedded. That'd be kind of a headline. And then there would be about a paragraph of text with a photo that kind of shows that feature and highlights that benefit, and then kind of go from there. For me personally, when I look at this, my immediate thought is drop shipping website, don't buy. Most people nowadays are aware of drop shipping. They know what a drop shipping website looks like. And what used to convert really well when drop shipping was first kind of coming around, now I've found will actually, in a lot of cases, hurt your conversion rate, because you're now associated with drop shipping, and a lot of customers have bought from, unethical drop shippers, maybe never got their product, or, the product wasn't what they thought it was. So definitely keep that in mind. There's a lot going on here. So another thing is these pop-ups. Split tested this. It works better on desktop only. If that's popping up on mobile, that's definitely going to hurt your experience, your conversion rate. A couple other things here is website uses cookies. See what I'm saying? Like it's popping up, and I'm trying to read this. For example, this pop-up is covering this text, and then there's this PayPal thing here, and I don't even know what these are, and then I can't even click that got it button. So this is kind of what I was saying by, there's too many distractions here. What do you want me to do on this website? What's the action that you want me to take? You want me to add this to the cart and then check out. What you don't want me to do is have to click out of this and then turn off the pop-ups and then click got it and then focus on the landing page. Humans have an attention span of less than a goldfish. So you have to be really cognizant of, okay, what is the actual action that I want the customer to take, and kind of go from there. So Yeah, my best piece of advice is just plain black and white text here in the description. This is a lot here, and it looks different. There's a lot of different things going on. I'd stick to maybe 4 or 5 photos total in this description section. This is a lot here. And then, like I said, just the benefits with like 3, 4, 5 sentences for each benefit, and just keep it simple. So that's kind of my input on that.
All right. So we have second store here. It's called Mo Prepped. Gonna get into it. I like the way Florian did the positives first, then the improvements second. So again, you've got the add to cart button above the fold here. That's the big takeaway, the big advantage to this store right here. The one thing that I may change about this, and we've tested many different various button colors, you want to have something that really sticks out. So it should be big, and it should be bold, and it should be a bright color. Green typically does convert the best. So I would try to fill this button in with a different color. And I actually like the product image here. The product image is nice. Moving on to improvements that can be made. There are quite a lot of improvements that can be made to this product page, which is great news, because you can potentially 8, 10, 15x your conversion rate. There are a lot of things we could improve here. So first things first, this top menu bar, not sure where this goes. Okay, it goes to the homepage. Cool. I think it could be smaller, or at the very least, the top banner, this top section, the header, could be a lot smaller. And this could also be moved. Like the logo could either be stretched out to fit this entire portion here, or this could be moved simply just over to the corner, and this font could be bumped up on the header here. Just to give you a little bit of space here on the product page, because like Florian said, you really want as much information as you can above the fold. People are lazy. And if you give people the opportunity to just leave without checking out any of this information, you have a less chance of converting them. So that being said, let's scroll down here a little bit. So pretty short copy on the sales page, which, isn't the end of the world. We can definitely improve the copy. You want to think of it as the further along somebody gets down the product page, the more they need to be sold on this product, right? The people that don't even scroll here, that just click add to cart, they're sold. They just want to simply move on and buy this product as fast as they can. The people that are scrolling are going to need a little bit more convincing to buy this product. What comes with it? What are the sort of benefits that I can get out of it? How can I utilize it? Sell me on the product a little bit. So I'd like to see a little bit more copy down here and some additional images, maybe some videos about using the product, so on and so forth. The other thing I would mention is there are some things that can be cleaned up here. You can see here that there are gaps between some of the text and some of the punctuation. It just doesn't look very professional. So it would maybe be off-putting to a lot of people that would potentially buy something from the ad that they got delivered. That's definitely something to note here. And then the formatting of this really seems just kind of off. The color says random. The size, what is that measuring? Is it top to bottom? Is it the size of the blade? Really could be a lot more specific here, especially, this was, it looks like just uploaded to the store and never even considered. So I would really pay attention to all the elements of the product page. Now, moving on to something that a lot of people don't really think about when they're building a landing page like this is how it looks on mobile. Obviously, we're looking at this on my computer, on my MacBook. So we're looking at this on desktop. But as you can see in the analytics in your ad account, typically, if you're just using broad targeting with no filters on, about half of your traffic, or even more sometimes, is going to be from a mobile device. So you want to check that too. And an easy way to do that on your desktop is, let me just grab this right here. So if you if you squeeze this all the way in, if you squeeze your browser all the way in, that's basically going to be most people's mobile view. And I'll show you in a website in a little bit that will actually give you the ability to test your landing page on every single operating system, every single type of device out there, which is getting a little nerdy, getting a little technical, but it definitely is something that you want to do once you start driving a lot of traffic to your landing page. So this is what somebody sees on mobile when they click your ad. So there are a couple big problems here, right? First of all, the add to cart button or the buy now button, whatever you're using, is not above the fold. I have to scroll down quite a bit to find it, and it isn't super apparent to me. So that is a big problem. There's also the price is kind of small and it's kind of out of the way. And then there's a big, long product description, product title. So I think you can cut this down. You could even literally call this Magic Trio Peeler, and that's it. And make this price a little bigger, maybe offer a discount. Maybe say that this was $29.99 and it's now available for $17.99, right? And then make sure to get this add to cart above the fold. And you can do that with a lot of different applications, a lot of different sticky button apps out there. And that site that I mentioned where you can actually check your product page out on any interface, any operating system is called Browser Stack. So it's a paid membership, but if you're driving traffic to a landing page, it is definitely super duper helpful. You can literally view your landing page on every single mobile device that exists, every single computer that exists, and all the operating systems that exist. You'd be surprised if we looked at this landing page on a Windows machine or on a Linux with different operating systems, it might look totally different. Or there might just be small differences that can really add up in terms of conversion rate. So those are my main points of improvement that I think we can make here. Let's go through. I actually want to go through the checkout process because I think a lot of people overlook that also. So if we click add to cart here, not much happens. Yes, this pops up and I can view my cart here. I'd like to see that automatically take me to the cart. Now, when you shop on an app like Amazon, they made the checkout process extremely simple. And a lot of times you go on there and you're searching for a lot of stuff. We are not playing that game here. If someone hits add to cart, you need to get them to purchase as often as possible. So I would actually like to see this add to cart button redirect right to the cart. And I'd like to see this checkout button a lot bigger. And then one other thing I always suggest before I wrap this up is it's always good to test with free shipping. Just gives you less friction at checkout. It's actually great to always add in typically free shipping. You'll get a lot higher conversion rate. And it's always good to test the entire flow and actually make a test order before you start running ads. So that's about it on this one, and I'll pass it over back to you guys.
By now, we've gone through two completely different product pages, and both multi-million-dollar dropshipper Florian Hartfelder and COO Brad Loeffler have given their tips and tricks in terms of the best ways to increase conversion rate. Now, this might not have been your store specifically, but a lot of the mistakes and or tweaks that they suggested to make to these product pages are pretty common amongst most dropshippers. So make sure you took notes and then go ahead and check out your own product pages once again to see if there's any improvements you can make. We plan on doing many more store reviews, both live and pre-recorded, and we want to be able to review the Zendrop users stores as well. So if you haven't already, please drop your store URL in the comments below, and we are happy to give you some tips and tricks. as well as show you all of the positive things that are happening on your store as well. As always, my name is Kennedy. Thank you for joining. Make sure you have subscribed and liked this video, and we'll see you next time. Happy selling.